Welcome again, everybody, to this toolkit tonight. We are going to be going over networking basics. To get started, we're going to kind of go through an overview of what networking is. I'm going to do an introduction to informational interviews, as well as LinkedIn, alumni sharing knowledge, which is our Ask platform, as well as how you can use networking to interact with professional groups and how you can use social media. To begin, we have this quote about what networking is, and this is from thebalancedcareers.com. So career networking or professional networking involves using personal, professional, academic, or familial contexts to assist with the job search, achieve career goals, or learn more about your field. Your field or another field you would be interested to work in or would like to work in. So that leads us to the question as to why networking is important. It's easy to forget the importance of networking. An astounding 85% of jobs are filled by networking of some sort, according to a survey, and this was pre-pandemic, so this is from about 2019. Of 3,000 people being consulted by Lou Adler and LinkedIn, they found that LinkedIn was helpful to learn more about the different professional roles and skills you'll need to be successful, to identify new or unknown career pathways, to find out about job opportunities, and to gain valuable insight and career advice. So how networking can get you a job. You probably have heard, and as mentioned on the page previously, that the majority of jobs are filled between not what you know, but by who you know. So what does that mean? How can networking help you get a job? Well, we have some statistics here. So 85% of positions are filled with personal or professional connections. 80% of professionals believe that networking can be vital for progressing in your career. 77% of recruiters actively use LinkedIn to find potential candidates. 46% of freelancers find jobs through friends and family members. 35% of people said that they got their current job thanks to their professional connections. 24% of job seekers find out about job opportunities through their professional connections. So who can you network with? Networking is a very broad term, and the types of people and communities we can interact with is multiplets. Anyone you meet and have a productive and professional conversation with about your career path can be a mentor or someone you network in. So this can be someone within your personal or social circle. So friends, families, members of the church that you belong to or religious institute that you belong to, volunteer organizations. It can be at your current or former workplaces. So these could be coworkers, colleagues, managers, someone you had an internship potentially with an undergrad, or someone you have in your current internship, or a colleague from an old organization. Your school, so for those of us who are current graduate and undergraduate students, your classmates and your professors. And alumni make really great mentors and people to network with, as well as career professionals. And so these may be individuals who belong to professional organizations that you are either also a part of or interested in joining. These individuals may be someone you find on LinkedIn, and they're working in the field that you are interested in getting into. So types of networking. Once again, this is another example of just how networking can be a really broad term, and it's easier when we break things down. So scheduling an informational interview. This is something that we'll go over in the next slide or the next couple of slides. We can attend professional events or meetups. A lot of professional organizations have networking nights and professional events that you can join and go to meet people from that professional organization and to meet others interested in joining that professional organization. Again, you can even join those professional organizations to get even closer to those networking and mentor relationships. Professional organizations tend to have a fee attached to them, so that's just something to consider as we look into those professional organizations that might fit our interests. For our current students, and applies to both graduate and undergraduate, join student organizations. This is a great way to interact with other students and peers who may have similar interests and similar career goals, but may not be in your same major. And so it's, again, a great way to interact with and meet new people. Finally, through job shadowing. So job shadowing is when you find an organization or you find someone who you're interested in learning more about their career. Maybe you've done the informational interview with them and you kind of want to see a more day in the life of what their career entails. And so you would follow this individual around their workplace for maybe an afternoon, a morning, or the full day. If you're able to follow an individual around for a couple of days, something that's a week max, we would refer to that as an externship. And so it's kind of similar to an internship, but where you don't have your own individual products or work, and you're just kind of shadowing someone for an extended period of time. Like I said, we're going to move on to discussing informational interviews. So informational interviews can be an incredibly productive, no pressure way to learn more about a field and explore career pathways and to build your network of contacts. They offer an opportunity for you to talk with professionals about their career path, as well as their professional organizations that they may be a part of and just their industry in general. Informational interviews are a great way to get that up-to-date information about industry trends and just about what a career pathway may look like in a field that you're interested in. These conversations can take place in person, they can take via phone call, they can be on Zoom or any other video conferencing program. Informational interviews can technically be done over email as well. If you send the questions you're providing to the person you're interviewing ahead of time, they can write out their response. There's a lack of connection there, and it's a little bit more impersonal to do it via email. Informational interviews can really be any length of time. They can be as short as 10-15 minutes, especially if you're talking to someone who may be higher up in an organization and spends most of their day in meetings. They might not have as much time to talk to you. Or they can be as long as like an hour or 90 minutes. On average, an informational interview will be about 30 minutes long. And that's enough time usually to talk either about a very specific part of their career or to just kind of get a general introduction to what their career pathway looked like, maybe from either early on in their undergraduate career or maybe starting closer to their junior, senior year and as an undergraduate student moving into their early career. A couple of different places to look to find these individuals. LinkedIn's the top place to go. Later on in this presentation, I will show you how to use the LinkedIn alumni feature and how to connect with people. DePaul also has a program called Alumni Sharing Knowledge, or ASK. And so this is our alumni network / mentor system. And so DePaul alumni, once they graduate, and for our graduate and undergraduate students, you have the opportunity to do that, can apply to be part of our ASK network. And basically applying to be part of our ASK network says that current undergraduate and graduate students, as well as alumni, can reach out to you to ask you about your career and your career advice. So you're signing up to be a mentor to other DePaul peers. You can use your friends and family. You'll be surprised about, as you talk to your aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, the parents of your friends, how much they may know about a specific industry and who they know in that industry. And so the more you talk about your interest and career goals with other people, the more that your personal social circle might be able to help connect you to important individuals. And then finally, professional organizations. We've already talked about them a little bit this evening and how they are really good at hosting events to get people introduced to the industry. But like I had mentioned on a previous slide, there is kind of that cost piece to it typically to get the additional benefits outside of the kind of introductory events. So how do you do an informational interview? Step one would be searching for emerging, mid-career, and established professionals in those roles or organizations that interest you. So what do I mean by emerging, mid-career, and established professionals? Well, for those of us who are in school still, that means we want to find 3 types of mentors. We want to find a mentor who's probably very close to us in age, and they maybe have just recently graduated or are a year or 2 ahead of us in terms of just like when they are preparing to graduate. This is the person who's going to be the most honest about what the transition is like going from being a student to a career professional. This person is going to be very raw and honest about what the current job search process looks like and what they wish maybe they can share what they wish they knew going into their current position. When you look for a mentor for a mid-career, it might be a position that you might want to get in 5 to 7 years after you've done your entry-level position for a couple of years. This individual might be within the organization you currently work at or within another organization that you want to work at in the future. This is someone who probably manages a couple of different people. They've been in the industry a while and have been graduated for a while, but they still have places to go and grow as an employee. And then finally, you want to talk to someone who's an established professional. This would be an individual who may be closer to retirement age, has really worked up the organizational structural ladder, and is just able to talk about, hey, as I reflect on my career, this is what has changed. This is how I've seen the industries change. This is how I've been able to adapt with industries changing and just kind of provide that more holistic, full picture of what it's like to have a career. So definitely consider targeting alumni as they often are eager to work with students and recent graduates of their alma mater. So that's why getting involved with the ASK network is really important. Step 2 is connecting with them. So sending them a brief message via email, LinkedIn, Ask, and for an informational interview. This does not have to be a lengthy outreach message. Be concise and friendly and make sure your request is reasonable. By reasonable, don't go asking for an hour. Start with asking for 30 minutes. Tapped into your existing network by asking for a mutual contact to make an introductory email or where applicable. So let's say you come and we're friends and we're hanging out, we're having coffee. You mention how you wish you could get in contact with this individual at an organization, and I volunteered with them a couple weekends ago. I have their contact information. I'd be more than happy to send an introductory email between you and this individual because I know both of you. And sometimes this is kind of the approach we might want to take when we find ourselves to be a little bit more introverted rather than extroverted. The final step, step 3, is after scheduling a time to talk, prepare some questions. So the biggest thing to remember is that people like to talk about themselves so much, so it should be fun for both of you. In addition to wanting to talk about yourself, people also want to help you out and assist you in any way you can. People like having other people view them as someone that they can turn to in a time of need. So some example questions you can ask are, what attracted you to this type of work? What are the skills and qualities needed to perform well in your role? And what do you find most challenging and rewarding? So Here's an example of a request. My name is Lisa Stone. I am a junior at DePaul. I am considering pursuing a career in journalism, and I'm writing to find out if you might be available to meet with me briefly for an informational interview. I'd love to hear about how your career pathway and experience and get any insights you can provide on the field. I understand you're too busy, but please let me know if you have any time to meet in the next several weeks. Thanks so much for your time. From here, the individual will respond back, and then you can be a little bit more concise and specific about when actually you want to meet with people. So using LinkedIn, while both your resume and your LinkedIn profile share your experience, skills, and accomplishments, they have different functions and different conventions. Your LinkedIn profile allows you a unique opportunity to showcase your brand and to be active in the world's largest professional social networking platform. Something I like to bring up a lot when discussing the resume versus LinkedIn in advising appointments is touching on how LinkedIn can really be a collection of all of your work experiences, whereas your resume can be a little bit more targeted and customized to those positions that you're currently applying for. LinkedIn's also a great research tool as you're looking for individuals to do informational interviews with. LinkedIn's a great tool to also view someone else's entire work history. And then you can really get an idea of how, okay, this is an internship that they got as an undergraduate student, and I can see how this connects to their current position. Or this is someone who's a little bit more in their mid-career, and I can see how they have really transitioned and changed their career interest based off of maybe their interests or how industry trends are going. And from using their LinkedIn as a research tool, you're able to kind of generate those more personal questions to ask individuals. What can you do with LinkedIn? This is kind of a little bit about what I went over. You can explore pathways, employers, opportunities. You can connect with peers, alumni, and create a network, as well as build a brand. And this can be your brand from the past, your current brand of the future, and then what you want your brand to be in the future. A lot of times when I'm doing advising appointments and someone asks me to review their LinkedIn, they ask if their LinkedIn is meeting industry trends. Well, the best way or how they should be designing their LinkedIn or customizing their LinkedIn or developing their brand on LinkedIn. The biggest recommendation I can make to those individuals is to find out who are those industry leaders on LinkedIn and look at their LinkedIn profiles and customize your LinkedIn and base their LinkedIn design off of those profiles. Each industry kind of has their own standards. And so once you look at those leaders of the industry, you get an idea of how your LinkedIn should be looking. Alumni Sharing Knowledge, or the ASK program. The DePaul ASK network makes it easy for students and alumni to connect and share experiences. Log in today to make connections, build relationships, and engage in industry and college-specific conversations. And you can get there by going to DePaulAskNetwork.com. As I mentioned before, we started the presentations. We run on a career community model. Some career communities are going to be a little bit more saturated with alumni than other career communities. And so as we're finding alumni to reach out to, it's really important that we consider balancing our research on mentors on LinkedIn and the Ask Network. Professional organizations or associations. There are professional groups for almost every industry, ranging from the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention to the American Association of Candy Technologists. Even a basic online search that includes industry keywords and professional org association will help you begin to map out the landscape of relevant groups. A lot of times, professional groups are great for networking. You can use them for their own individual resources and job boards. You can use them as an educational tool. So professional organizations are often rich with source information on industry issues, trends, research, and more. And professional visibility. The more you interact with professional organizations, the more you are going to learn about local professionals and local career leaders in your locational industry. The benefits of professional organization, whether you're an exploring student or someone who is uncertain about what you want to do, getting involved with a professional association can offer significant benefits. It can offer benefits such as networking, career resources and job boards, education and professional visibility, like we just reviewed on the previous slide. In general, you'll want to curate a list of active professional organizations that you can either join many of or visit regularly online. So using your social media to build your network. Social media is a viable means for expanding your professional network and finding job opportunities. Studies are showing that an increasing number of people, one study says 48% use social media platforms as a way to search for their current job. In the next slide, we'll identify a few of the ways you can harness the power of social media to advance your career. So there are 4 main ways we can use social media to get our personal brand out there. The first one is get the word out. So if you're job hunting and posting on social media, it is a good way to let people know. This is something that you can do on your Instagram. If you are still using Facebook or Twitter, you can do it there. But a lot of people find the best results on LinkedIn and saying, I'm currently having a post on a social media site saying, I'm currently looking for a job in public relations or the industry that you're interested in, either at an agency or in-house. Let me know if you know anyone who is hiring. Having a post like this is very beneficial because possibly someone in your direct network might not know anyone personally hiring, but people within your network have their own networks, and people within their networks have their own networks. And so once you make a post, this post can be shared to individuals in your network, and then they can share it for you to their network, and so on and so on. And so your one post can be seen by more people outside of your network. To join industry conversations. Twitter and LinkedIn are excellent tools to expand your network and build your professional brand. The first step is to find and connect with people in your field, including peers, local professionals, and national thought leaders. I know the Department of Anthropology here at DePaul really encourages anthropology students to use Twitter as a networking platform. The last 2 ways to use social media to kind of get your brand out and to network. The third option is to use Instagram as your brand. So most of us use Instagram to share our personal lives, our stories, funny incidents with our friends. But we can use this platform professionally, and it can add another layer to our brands and demonstrate a useful skill in social media. It's not a bad idea to create a professional only profile and to use this account for your search. And so very similar to LinkedIn, who are those individuals in your industry who are really like spearhead leaders? What do their social media sites outside of LinkedIn look like? And can you create a professional or even your personal social media to look like theirs? Add social media links to your resume. An active, well-thought-out social media presence can help you professionally. The right content can provide prospective employers with a good sense of what kind of person you are, because many of employers search social media as part of the vetting process. Making it easier by including links in your resume shows you have nothing to hide. If you are considering doing this, I would start by adding your LinkedIn. And then depending on your industry, so for example, if you're more interested in PR and advertising, it might be helpful for you to include your Twitter and your Instagram or a link to your portfolio. Whereas someone who's more interested in education, it might not be the best idea to include your Instagram account. If you are interested in any of the topics that we went over today, we have resources on our website, as well as general resources about any topic. that you can come to us about the Career Center for. This is available to you 24/7, and you can reach it at godepal.edu/career library. Feel free to connect with us. And so if you would like to have a deeper conversation about this topic, you can schedule an appointment by coming to our Loop office or our Lincoln Park office. You can schedule an appointment on depal.joinhandshake.com, or if you have any additional questions, you can go to the Career Center at depal.edu.